Aquarius. Happy fucking birthday, Aquarius. How old are you now? Hi, how are you? I'm Chris. Welcome to your February reading. So, Aquarius, I'm feeling big things for you guys here. There's a lot of astrology going on in your sign this month. And a lot of interesting astrology that I'm really excited to think about and talk about, right? My underlying instinct with what's happening with Aquarius this month is you guys are looking towards the future. Right? Last month we kind of talked about stretching the imagination and kind of not stopping at the top and just keep on going and bigger and better and bigger and better. And now I think Aquarius in February is going to be ready for bigger and better, right? I think some of you are going to be taking big steps in your relationships. I think some of you are going to be taking big steps in your career. I feel transformation in those places for you this month. Right? And why do I say that? Well, besides the fact that you're awesome and you can do anything you want because you're fucking sharp as nails and you can be cold as a motherfucker to get it done, right? I'm just kidding. Not cold. Aquarius, the logical cold thing, right? Queen of Wands, first card out, right? But what I'm trying to say here is that first we have the astrology that interests me this month is Mercury, right? And currently in Aquarius, moving into Pisces at the end of the month. And then also Venus moving into Pisces at the end of the month. Now, what the fuck does that have to do with Aquarius? Isn't Pisces exactly the opposite? They're all feely and dreamy, and Aquarius is all rational and practical and thinking. I think that's great energy for you guys. When I say about you guys moving forward, I think that Aquarius this month is getting into a place of dreaming, of thinking bigger, of having pleasure, right? With Venus moving into Pisces, this is Aquarius, I feel enjoying the pleasures of life. So you have this hard thinking Mercury and Aquarius thing, which is great for laying plans and thinking big and figuring out where things are going. But then when it moves into dreamy ass Pisces, y'all can relax, y'all can have fun, y'all can be into your pleasure, right? The Queen of Wands to me is the queen of pleasure. I mean it that way when I go. She's the sexy queen. She's the the woman who knows what she wants and she knows how to get it. And people are more than willing to give it to her. Look at the way she's holding that wand. You know what I'm saying? Aquarius. No, but seriously, I think that now it's a good time for Aquarius to get settled in yourself, right? Because we do have an eclipse happening in your sign, right? And this eclipse is going to be for everybody, but especially for Aquarius, about letting go. Of letting go of old senses of self, old identity, right? Old ways of being. That's why I said Aquarius is looking to the future, right? Aquarius is looking for what's next. Aquarius is looking at what's going to bring happiness. Ooh. Okay. So let's start with what we got here, okay? We have the King of Swords. Good, I like this. That harsh, when I start out saying cold, right? The swords are air. And the King of Swords is very good at being clinical and intellectual, right? And he's able to detach himself. Very different from the Queen of Wands, right? She's all about the fire in the belly. He's all about what makes sense. And so I feel this is where Aquarius has been for a little while. In this very practical, what makes sense, what is the logical thing to do here, kind of doing the things that are supposed to be done. But the Three of Pentacles to me is bringing a little bit of warmth to the situation, right? This is a couple of things. This is one, Aquarius, like getting to sit back and enjoy the work that you've been doing, right? With these two cards together, it's like Aquarius has been working, right? That's why I said I kind of like, you know, moving into Pisces. Pisces is a working sign. Like the water signs, like as emotional as they are, they get taken for granted as to how much they like to work and how much they like money, right? The comforts. But this is sort of Aquarius getting to say, like, getting to look back at what you've created, getting to look back at like the challenges you've overcome, getting to look back and see like all those sacrifices, all that hard work. Three of Pentacles is paying off. And then we have the Three of Swords. So a few things, right? When these two numbers come up, right, especially like right next to each other, this can often represent like two different paths or two different choices, right? Here we have like creativity and like reveling in the glory of your work, and here you have this like sorrow and pain. And this kind of makes sense to me now. This kind of makes me feel like the reason Aquarius is looking to what's next is because there's almost this like sense of dissatisfaction, right? As much as this has been great, as much as like you've been working and been creative and like stacking your coins and like killing it in your jobs and just like being on top of it, right? Being on your game, at the top of your game, right? We've talked about this the last few months with Aquarius, like being on top of their game, really just being successful. But what's missing here, Aquarius? Now, this isn't to say that you guys don't have fun. This isn't to say that you don't have love. But with the Three of Swords, there's still like, this is a perfect example of the Three of Swords as a disconnect between the mind and the heart. Right? And being in this, again, why I said it's so cool that Mercury, the planet of thought and communication, is moving from an airy sign like Aquarius into a watery sign like Pisces, because now we can focus on the heart. Right? So when I said that Pisces. Not talking about fucking Aries or Pisces. We're talking about motherfucking Aquarius. The reason, now I lost my train of thought because I was trying to be fucking goofy. Aquarius, yeah. Cool stuff, right? Yeah. I'm just going to keep babbling until maybe I remember what I was saying. Or I'll shuffle the cards more and keep going. Right, but... Oh, when I said when Aquarius is looking to the future, and I said like, for some of you guys, I feel like there could be like an upgrade in your relationship, like moving in together, or, you know, marriage even, right? Or thinking about children, right? And for those of you not in a relationship, maybe you've been like very focused on yourself, and now it's the time to like think about your love, think about your heart. Maybe like for those of you who are dealing with a little bit of heartache, like you've kind of distanced yourself from feeling. Right? Not saying that you're cold and you don't feel things, like everybody feels things, right? But there's almost a sense of, for those of you who are like single or recently heartbroken, like of distancing yourself from your heart, right? So like now there's these wounds that are still there. And now it's time to address those. Now it's time to heal. Right? And how do you heal? You bring warmth into your life. You bring pleasure. Right? Pleasure for the sake of pleasure. Do you understand that, Aquarius? Like, can you do that? Can it be pleasure not for like what it looks like to other people? Can it be like not what you think is like cool or fun, like, but like getting in touch with what just genuinely makes you feel good, like being self-indulgent emotionally, like really self-indulgent. This is the time to do that. February is the month, so like, and it's funny we're talking about like the month of love and Valentine's Day, right? But with like Venus and Pisces, that's like, I want to say, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think it's exalted in Pisces. When a planet's exalted in a sign, that means when it expresses its best attributes. Right? And it has nothing to do with like the ruling sign or whatever. Like, if Venus is exalted in Pisces, that's when like all the feels come up, right? Someone said they didn't like me saying feels, but like, fuck them. That's when all the feels come up. That's when you can focus on like the warm, gooey stuff. This is popping out here. Empress. Okay, so let's look at something here. 333. So it's interesting also that the Empress comes out as the last three here, because 333 was a symbol of like the ancient goddess, right? Of the three forms of being, mother, maiden, crone. Just like the way in like, say something like Christianity, you have the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. You have the maiden, the mother, the crone, all representing different phases of life and different aspects of femininity. And whether, if you're a man watching this, it doesn't mean like, you know, that doesn't pertain to you. But what I'm talking about here is like real empowerment of those feminine principles, right? And please, like, don't take it literally that I'm saying like, you know, femininity means to be sweet and loving and nurturing, and being a man means to be aggressive. Like, these are just the traditional words that people used, right? Masculine and feminine, to express like the type of energies that we're talking about. So this is like big, nurturing, loving, feeling good energy for you guys this month. Venus is the planet of the Empress. It's a Taurus card, right? The ruling planet of Taurus is Venus, but this is like happiness. And also, like what I was saying before, like it could be children on the horizon. It could be like a new relationship, or like if you've been dating somebody, like things becoming solid. If you've been seeing somebody for a long time, maybe like marriage on the future, moving in together, right? The part where you guys are like the workhorses is a little bit in the past right now. And I mean, you're never gonna like get away from that entirely, but where this is the main focus for you is a little bit like, let this go for now. For the month of February, it's time to let go. And what did I say about healing, right? With these two cards next to each other, right? Like the Empress is like the biggest healer of the heart, I feel like, in the major arcana. She's the mother. She cares for people. She cares for herself. She cares for her children, right? You have the four queens beneath her. So what are we talking about here in terms of like making yourself feel good and nurturing the parts of yourself that like just want to let loose and have fun and enjoy the company of your friends and enjoy the company of like your family even. I feel like it's a little more like friends oriented. That's the energy here. It's a little more like your chosen people in your life, right? Because when we have the eclipse, there's a eclipse in the middle of the month in your sign. And what that's going to mean is like, I think we said this already, a shedding of identity. And a lot of what that's going to be for you guys is like, who fits still? Who do you want around you? You don't have to be like fake anymore, right? Aquarius, like, this is the funniest, like, a paradox of Aquarius to me. You guys are a sign of like humanitarianism, right? And like you're a sign that really cares for people. But at the same time, I think you like low-key hate a lot of people. And I think I said this before, but you know, not people don't know that. That's the brilliant thing about Aquarius. You could walk into a room of people and hate every single one of them, but like leave that room with everyone thinking that like you're the shit and that you really care about them. Because you're good at like being Nine of Swords, at putting on like the face of being cordial, of being like, you know, friendly. Everybody's friend in a way, right? But now is the time where you can let that go. This month you can let go of like, I don't want to call it fake news, but like you can be more real. If there are people or friends in your life that just aren't doing it for you anymore, it's okay to like distance yourself from them or like let them go entirely. If there are relationships in your life like that you've just kind of been holding on to that don't really do anything for you anymore, like this is a time to like not put any more energy into them. Because like this is the new you. This is the new phase of your life where you're just going to be true, absolutely true to like who you are and what you want. And like what makes you feel good. No more time, no time for fake friends. No fake love, Aquarius. Real love. Right? Like get out of this shit. Get out of the place where like people just like aren't making you feel good. You know, like people who just aren't like doing it for you. Relationships that you keep around because they're familiar. So as two path cards here, look what we got. Nine of Swords. Buh. Like, who wants to be that Deb? This is not you guys, right? Prince of Wands is what I want for you. The Prince of Wands, I think this came up not last month, but the month before, with Aquarius kind of like embracing their bravado and ego and like just going after things in a way where like there was no fear, where there wasn't any anxiety, where there wasn't any like stress or pressure about having to be a certain way or look a certain way or like, you know, treat people a certain way like you don't want to. Now, don't go being a fucking bitch, Aquarius. like don't be those people who like say hurtful things and you're like, what? I'm just being honest. Like, don't be that. Like, this isn't a license to go and just like fuck people's hearts up. But like look at like, I was just adjusting my belt. I know that might have looked weird on camera. Look at like this. This is like, a lot of times I see the Nine of Swords as, you know, grief or like, you know, pressure and anxiety, but this is like the pressure of like that fakeness that I was talking about, right? Do you ever have these moments in your life where you finally like are truthful about something and it's just like such a release, both of those things, right? It's like it was hard and difficult maybe, but now there's like none of these things like hovering over your head anymore. Like you have this free-spirited, like, do what I want. It's my birthday. I'll do what I want. I'm a grown woman. Or man. I'm just quoting Beyonce, so. That's why she's a grown woman, right? This is carefree. This is lighthearted. This is like believing that you can like have and do whatever you want. Just because you're entitled to it, because it's like your birthright. The universe right now wants Aquarius to be their truest versions of themselves. So sort of like get grounded in your identity, right? Because we have the Prince of Wands and then the Queen of Wands. this is like the first step to being embodying this energy, this like sovereign and empowered and like able to like give herself give herself pleasure. um Now I'm uncomfortable. To like manifest her own pleasure, to be responsible for her own pleasure. I'm just gonna move on. I can't I can't with me right now. But you see like how I have like all these little giggles right now? Like that's like Aquarius for me right now. Stop being so like, why so serious, Aquarius? Maybe that'll be the title of this video. Why so serious? Or like, I don't know, because you're not serious anymore, right? These cards just like flipping over on their own. Do what I say, right? Like, again, like things that happen in these readings like make me like letting go of control, letting things happen as they do, right? Right? So as they will, as it's sort of like fated, right? I just like cut the deck and like the Ace of Wands is coming up, so we're gonna keep it. It's weird, like for this reading I was just doing some personal readings. A lot of the cards have just been flipping up on the deck, right? Ace of Wands. Like I can't look at this card anymore without just getting all like bashful. She's got that wand all right. She's like taking charge of her happiness, you know? Go home, Aquarius. I can't deal with you guys anymore. Okay, so let's pull a couple more outcome cards here. While I'm doing that, since I did mention the personal readings, I do still have those available. They're discounted still, about 30% off. Last month, like this is part of the reason why these readings were a little late, because last month they just sold a lot, more than I even expected, like a lot. So I was a little behind. But those have been fun and I've been getting great responses. So if you're interested in that, in the description below, you'll see a link to my Etsy site. Try one out. It's been great so far, right? And they're like super affordable. King of Pentacles. Brilliant. And a moon. Okay. Bottom of the deck. Four of Cups. I like this. I like the Four of Cups because the Four of Cups, even in decks where it shows the person not accepting it, what it always means to me, and what I think like this, the illustrator of this deck got right about this energy, was that there's an abundance of emotion. Right? You have Cancer in its rating, blah 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 blah, ruling sign, the moon. I mean, that sounds stupid. Ruling luminary, the moon, right? That's emotion on top of emotion, right? But it can be controlled and channeled. To me right now, you know, the moon often represents, you know, secrets and like things that are going on beneath the surface, but also sometimes I see this card as like, I want to say like the werewolf card, right? Because it has like the dog on one side and the wolf on the other side, right? And so sometimes the way I see this card is like a complete letting loose, like howling at the moon, letting your wild side out, letting yourself be free, run fucking naked in the woods. I don't know. If that's your jam, you know, that's your jam. But the point is about like letting go, partying a little bit, right? And if partying's not your thing, just like doing things that are different, doing things that are exciting, right? A little mysterious, right? But nonetheless, free empowering in their freedom. Right? Like if the wild woman comes up in the oracle cards, I'm just going to quit and walk out of this room right now because that's the best card that can like synchronize with this energy. King of Pentacles. So some of you might have an earth sign that is instrumental here, right? Capricorn, Virgus. Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. That is sort of like going to be a part of this fun. So if you're like looking to date somebody, or if you are dating an earth sign or with an earth sign, you know, a good time to have fun and cut loose with them. But also the King of Pentacles, like to relate it back to your own energy, is manifesting, right? This is sort of what happens when you take a step back, right? When you water something and like let it be. This is control, but with the king, it's such a strong balance of being able to be in control and at the same time simultaneously let something exist on its own, right? Giving it the space to grow on its own. So in the beginning of the month, Aquarius, while the Mercury is in your sign and before the eclipse in your sign, like make those plans. Communicate your vision, right? Whether that's like in writing or spoken or just by actions that you take. Communicate your vision of the future. And then for the rest of the month, sit back and let that watery ass Pisces energy just like saturate it and then let it grow on its own. Let your dreams and visions like become their own thing. Let them manifest. Like get the fuck out of your own way, Aquarius. You know, like there's a good balance. You know, there's a book, what is it? Is it The Habits of Highly Effective People, I want to say? I had to read it for like college ones. And what they talk about in that book is production versus production capability. And they use the example of the goose with the golden egg, right? If you rip open the goose and try to get everything that it's good for by tearing it apart, you're going to be left with nothing. However, if you nurture the goose, you keep it safe, you feed it, you like shelter it, keep it happy, it's going to produce mad eggs. Maybe that'll be the title for this video. Mad eggs, Aquarius. Mad eggs. But like that's a good metaphor for what this card is saying right now, right? Mad eggs. So many eggs. If you just like take a step back and focus on your production capability and think of yourself as that like plump little goose that can lay these golden eggs, and it's like, yo, you know, I've had enough time shitting out these eggs. Please don't hate me after this, guys. I've had enough time of shitting out these eggs, and now it's just like I want to eat and get fat and chill. And then like I know that eventually these eggs are going to need to be pooped out again. So like let me just enjoy myself and let it happen. And like me being happy and like feeding myself well and taking care of myself is going to make those eggs like bigger and better. Okay, so I'm just going to like show you the cards what we have here right now so far. Hi. Let's look at the bottom there. Okay, so like lots of wand energy. The queen, the ace, and the prince, right? There's this movement from this like younger, ambitious energy to like this stronger, self-assured energy where she's taking a hold of like her power, where she's like letting loose a little bit, letting herself dream, right? This is a Cancer card, but like it's still that water energy of like imagination and dreaming, right? Even in like actual daydreams or like in your subconscious when you sleep, like not kind of like racked with worry, but like dreams that invigorate you and make you feel good, right? That take you out a little bit out of this place of like work, 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 and let you heal yourself. Maybe I feel like even Aquarius has wounds that they don't even realize they have. Aquarius is carrying baggage that you might not even be conscious of until this month. Until you do this reflection. Until you get thoughtful. And you realize like, oh, the reason I'm like working so hard is because I'm actually really afraid and insecure. And then when you realize that, you can heal it. You can like water it and let the emotions flow. Hi again. You know, do you see what I'm saying there? Does that make sense? Makes sense to me. If it doesn't make sense to you, like, your problem. I kid. This is what I'm doing here. I'm supposed to read and make things make sense to you. No, but like I see what like is being said here, right? What was it I was just thinking of? And I'm shuffling this in the Nature Nurture Oracle. We're gonna just pull a couple cards here for clarification, yeah? What was it just thinking about the other day that I don't know, maybe it'll come to me. So we have the Phoenix, right? What it was I saying about like shedding of the old identity and really embracing like who you are and who you're going to be. Like that's literally what the Phoenix does, right? It burns itself up and it starts new because it has to, because its old way of being just doesn't fit it anymore. Let this month, like, I like the double meaning of this card because yes, there's the literal idea of the Phoenix, but it represents rituals. It represents rites of passage, right? It represents not just the burning up of yourself, but, and like the emphasis on the Phoenix is so much about like burning and becoming new, but the emphasis here is on the act of burning, right? And that's what I want to say here with Aquarius is like, be conscious about this energy and addressing it, right? Be conscious of it. Want to heal it and let it heal. Oh, I remember what I was thinking. It was an interview between RuPaul and Oprah. And he was saying about once he became conscious of the fact that, like, for instance, he used the example of being late to things. And he was always late to things. And then he realized that the reason he was late to things when he took a step back and thought about it was that he was kind of addicted to the chaos. He liked the stress. And I relate to that. Like sometimes I procrastinated a lot. And I mean, sometimes I always do. But like what I've realized is that there's a thrill in actually making it work out. Right? That's why I like do it sometimes, because I have the sense like it's going to work out. And when it does, it's such a rush. So that's what I'm thinking of here when I'm talking about like healing yourself and becoming conscious of like the baggage and the things that are holding you back and being able to move on from them. Yeah? And I mean, like, it's your birthday month. This is like, every time it's your birthday, it's a great time of reflection. It's a great time to like look back at like what the year past has held for you and what you want the year ahead to hold for you. So this is the time, Aquarius, to think about that. Think about what doesn't fit. Think about the people who don't fit for you. Think about the jobs that don't fit for you. Because like you're growing, you're expanding. I feel that like Aquarius energy is like expanding right now. And not everything is going to work. Maybe you liked your job for a long time and then like, you know, now it's not, there's something bigger waiting for you. Maybe you've been in a relationship and it just hasn't been feeling right, and maybe that's because you're ready for something new and something bigger and better. Maybe like your relationship is stagnant and you're ready for something bigger and better. Strength. Like Aquarius is in their power this month. Aquarius is like emboldened to make the moves that they need to make. Aquarius is like feeling real tough and strong. And I think it's because of this. I think it's because like of the accomplishment and the successes that you guys have had over the past few years. You know, right now with Saturn and Capricorn, it's a big emphasis on like reaping what you sow. And I think like if you guys have been, if like the readings for the last few months about Aquarius have been on point, you guys have been doing the work, and now it's like a little bit of time to like reap the rewards of that. Because you earned it. Let's look at all three of them. Transition. Abundance, community, and transition. So what did I say about bigger and better things? This card to me right now is like you guys are ready to move forward. It's like this is old news. Whether this is like an old relationship, an old friendship, an old job, an old living situation, whatever it is that you're outgrowing it. And you're moving to something bigger and better. Because that's where your energy is. You're like ready for it. What did I say about like enjoying your family and your friends, or particularly your friends? Like enjoying time with your loved ones. Relaxing. Being like social. But like the community with the trees, again, it's about, you know, like the thing I was saying before about people that don't fit anymore. Imagine like there's one tree in this forest that is infected. It spreads, right? And the best thing to do is like cut those trees down and burn them. So get rid of those like rotten trees in your forest. And all it takes is a little self-reflection to know what those things are. It becomes obvious, right? Like you know what doesn't feel good. You know what you've been forcing. Stop forcing things. Because like I was saying with Saturn and Capricorn, it's time to start reaping the rewards of what you've sown. It's time to start enjoying the byproduct of all the work you've been doing. Aquarius, this is cool. Like I'm almost jealous. Like I wish I was an Aquarius. I haven't done. You're the first reading I'm doing for this month because it's your birthday. Happy birthday. You're the first reading I'm doing for the month. I haven't seen what is in store for Gemini, but I mean this is really positive. This is really like getting out of an old, outdated way and like really embracing the future. Like last month we talked about imagining bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and maybe that has like affected your energy where the thinking of bigger and bigger things has expanded your aura, expanded your energy, so now you're ready to attract those things to you, those bigger and better things, right? Cool. Good work, Aquarius. All right, so again, in the description, links for private readings. Go ahead and feel free to book one of those with me for 30% off right now. Instagram in the link below as well. I'm getting a Facebook page up and running for the House of Light and Shadows. So when that's available, I will put links there so that we can like post when readings are up and stuff like that. Subscribe, like, comment. I love the comments. The comments make my day. I love them. I love to have a dialogue with you guys, and I love to like have you joining this like little community we have here. Subscribe, right? All right, y'all. So have a great birthday. I love you with all my heart, and like be amazing because it's in your cards. All right, guys. Have a great February. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.